Marco here from Wealthbridge Financial Group. He's agreed to sit down with us today, go through a bit of information, hopefully bring some value to first home buyers and anyone that's thinking about getting a loan to purchase a home. How you going, Marco?
Hi Ken. Hi guys, how are you?
Mate, what type of loans do you specialise in? Which lenders do you work with most often?
I mainly cater for the first home buyers and also first time investors. In terms of banks, we deal with the big four, and we also have a lot of non-lender banks and also private lending. However, I try to cater, especially for the first time buyers. We try to have a look at the grants available for them and see if they can fit into them. And there's a lot of banks that do that. So mainly you mainly look at the big four that they provide a lot of the grants.
So you got a lot of lenders that obviously you guys work with and built good relationships with.
Yeah, look, we have a lot. I've got a lot of relationship with all the banks. So look, we've probably got between 20 to 40 banks. Specialising from the big banks to the non-lenders, also private funding as well. I'm in constant contact with the BDMs, and they provide updates every week to the brokers, and yeah, it's pretty simple, pretty knowledgeable, and yeah, if I've got any problems, I'm always in direct contact with the BDMs.
Great, fantastic. I think that's really important too. Like obviously some people will go to some brokers if they haven't got good relationships with their lenders. That can be really difficult for them to get loans. I know from personal experience that if you go to a broker that doesn't have a good relationship with their lenders, and they're very good at letting you know that like you're not eligible for the loan, but it can come down to the fact that they just don't have that good relationship there. And a lot of the time, those people just need to go and see another mortgage broker, and they'll see that like it wasn't actually their problem. Their financials could have been all good and they could get the loan. So
yeah, for sure,
I think it's very important to have those relationships.
Yeah, for sure. Look, every week we're in contact. As you said, there's some BDMs who I have a close relationship with, and you're usually working with most of the same ones most of the time. You've got the ones that you have most of your relationship with. They're going to go above and beyond to try to help you out the best they can as well. So that's what they are fantastic and they're great. They help us out a lot.
Oh, fantastic. And how do you get compensated? Like, how do you get paid? Do you charge a fee up front, or do you get paid by the lenders?
So, look, we get paid by the banks, by the lenders. So what usually happens is after the settlement, we'll get a commission, so upfront commission, and then we also will get a trail commission for the term of the loan. So, however, if something does happen within, I think it's within a period of time, there's clawbacks as well, which means that we will definitely lose the commission. So it's also in our best interest to have that positive relationship with the client as well, and make sure that everything of their financials and everything is up to date for the loan as well, 100%.
Oh, fantastic, man.
Yeah.
That's good. So you don't charge a fee up front that comes from the bank?
No fee up front,
there's no harm, no foul in getting in contact and finding out where you sit financially to be able to get a loan.
That's right.
So Marco and I are actually going to be working together to help first home buyers and first time investors with giving a bit of help with obviously their lending solutions, and then my side of it as a buyer's agent, I'll be helping them find the right property that best suits their needs. And so Marco does have a lot of information, and he can help with what benefits, what things the government has out there at the moment that are helping first home buyers get into the market, even though they're constantly changing as we see. But what sort of benefits are out there at the moment for first home buyers trying to get into the market?
So look, there's still that first home buyers grant. It has changed many times. If you want to know if you're available or you're interested in it, contact me. They're offering still the first home buyers grant, 30,000. You can use as a deposit, so no stamp duty, at a certain price for a new build or a build that's been renovated to a certain extent. So yeah, like there's sometimes it can be hard, especially living in populated areas like the Sunshine Coast. To find something around the area they are. However, if the price is a little bit higher, you just have to pay a little bit of the stamp duty, not the 100%.
Oh, right. Yeah. So good incentives to help first home buyers get into the market.
They're trying a bit more.
Yeah.
Hopefully, they do increase the limit, but unfortunately at the moment there's a cap.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks for that, mate. And what sort of factors do you consider when recommending a specific loan product to a client?
Look, the question that you always get is how much can I borrow? You know, it's always what's my max borrowing capacity. But really, it's all based on financials. You know, I need to know how much you or your partner are making, and also expenditures, and that's how it really is. So it's mainly how much you make and how much you're spending. So usually, you know, if you are self-employed, you know, the big banks, you know, if you want a prime product, which is the best product out there, you're going to need, you know, your 2 years financials or notice of assessments, you know, 6 months bank statements, you know, ID, verification. Then we can go from there. Looking at how much you can borrow. Are you going to? There's also a lot of, as a broker, we always get these deals from our different banks. So at the moment, we've got a bank, you know, with 15% deposit, you pay no stamp duty. Then you've also got the specialised industries where, you know, if you're a doctor, you've got a certain have a certain amount deposit, no lender's mortgage insurance. If you're a nurse, but there's only specific banks that give those type of products out there. So there's that's why it's really important to know. If you want to know, just contact your broker or myself, and you know we can guide you through the process the best way we can.
Oh, fantastic. And for people, I know when I was a first home buyer and I spoke to my broker, and I thought it was how much deposit you had saved up, right? And I know every time that she was trying to get through information about our financials, dependents, children, all that sort of stuff, I was like, yeah, but how much deposit do I need? How much? And she said that was later on down the track. Obviously, that's still an important part, but that's later on down the track, isn't it? Like, it's the main thing you've got to get through first.
It still is important.
Yeah.
And I understand with the cost of living of today, saving's a lot harder. So if you're looking at $1 million property, to save that 200,000, it's to have that 20% deposit to get that no LMI, lender mortgage insurance, it is hard. We've got to be realistic here. It's getting harder for us first time buyers. So yeah, look, deposit is always important. However, it doesn't mean you can't get into the property market. You know, we've got a lot of lenders at 5% that you can borrow. You know, you've got your family guarantor schemes as well, and things like that. So there's many ways to get in. You know, and also, you know, sometimes even with the non-lender banks, they're providing things with, you know, 10% deposit, no LMI. So there's always things changing inside the mortgage broker world, and you know, sometimes we get different deals each month. So you know, it's important to contact and find out what deals there are out there available for you.
Yeah. So you're encouraging people that are unsure. They're worried about their savings not being enough or their financials. It just doesn't hurt to get in contact with your broker and find out, and you can work out some sort of plan as to where they got to go. That's
right. So yeah, no, look, I have had many people come up to me and ask, you know, I've given them their financials, and look, I've done the calculators to find out how much they borrow or how much they need in order to get that loan, and it doesn't help. At least it gives you a goal, and you can set targets for the future and find out what you need to do to get there. You know, I can also give you some type of tips or some strategies in order to get there. Look, it's not financial advice because I'm not a financial advisor. However, I can guide you on the right track as well.
Yeah, fantastic. All right, and how do you stay up to date with changes to the regulations and interest rates?
So look, as we all know, there's those certain interest rates that happen on those months already. So we keep up to date with them a lot. I like to read a lot of articles as well. However, our BDMs are in constant contact with us as well with their emails. So for example, when we had that rate cut last month, straight away we got emails saying, "Oh, we're dropping rates, we're dropping rates." So it's pretty quick, pretty instantaneous. And look, as we get closer to the Federal Reserve meetings, you sort of have an idea if it's going to go down, if it's going to be a pause, or if it's going up.
Yeah.
So we do have one coming in July. So as we get closer to there, you're going to have the economists saying what they think, and and then you'll find out on that Tuesday if it stays up or goes down or goes up.
Yeah. Fantastic, man.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you taking the time to have a chat with us today, and I hope this has brought some value to people that are sort of sitting on the fence, not sure where to go, what to do. Get in contact with Marco. I'll tag him in this. If you want to send him a PM or something, he's happy to chat anytime. Doesn't cost you anything, just to have a chat and find out where you're sitting and where you can go. So yeah, thanks for taking the time, Marco, and we'll catch up with you soon, eh?
Thanks, mate.
Cheers.
Appreciate it.